Published 1641 Eastern Standard Time, the 23rd of January 2018. Updated 1643 Eastern Standard Time, the 23rd of January 2018. It was asking too much for Bristol City to do it all over again. Knocking Manchester United out of the Carabao Cup was one thing, but Manchester City as well. That was beyond Lee Johnson and his enterprising team. A goal down from the first leg at the Etihad a fortnight ago, they bowed out of the competition at an expectant Ashton Gate last night after taking 4 Premier League teams with them. It has been quite a ride. Their dream of a first major cup final for 109 years is over, but the hope is that they will be facing United and City in the top flight next season. There's a team and a venue worthy of a place in the Premier League. Sergio Aguero blasted a precise finish into the far corner of the net to put Manchester City 2 goals ahead on the night. The Argentinian forward celebrated with an embrace with Bernardo Silva as they beckoned their teammates over. Leroy Sane slotted the opening goal of the game shortly before halftime with the help of a huge deflection. City will play either Chelsea or Arsenal in the final, with the 2 Premier League sides playing on Wednesday instead. It will be City who proceed to the final against Chelsea or Arsenal at Wembley next month, and deservedly so. Bristol City pushed them hard as almost any Premier League team, but Pep Guardiola's side were better over both legs. The first part of an historic quadruple is now in sight, and few would doubt City's ability to pull it off. They extinguished hopes of an upset last night by going 3 up on aggregate with goals from Leroy Sane and Sergio Aguero. Marlon Pack's header changed little overall, but it was only right that Bristol City went out on a high. Bristol City: Steele, Smith, Flint, Wright, Magnuson, Patterson, Walsh, Brownhill, Pack, Bryan, Reed. Unused subs: Baker, Didio, Taylor, Engvall, Eliasson, Walcott, Kent. Bookings, goals: Manchester City, Bravo, Walker, Stones, Otamendi, Zinchenko, De Bruyne, Fernandinho, Silva, Bernardo Silva, Aguero. Sane. Unused subs: Danilo, Company, Sterling, Gundogan, Mangala, Edison, Toure. Bookings: Fernandinho. Goals: Sane, 43, Aguero, 49. Referee: Graham Scott. The cover of the match programme again portrayed Lee Johnson and his players as cartoon superheroes, just as it did for the momentous victory over Manchester United in the quarter-finals. That was Bristol's 4th Premier League scalp in the competition, after earlier victories over Watford, Stoke, and Crystal Palace. Inside, the young manager used his programme notes to rouse the club's supporters for another famous night, and there was no doubt from the noise within this impressive venue that they were up for the occasion. "It isn't going to be easy," wrote Johnson. "We are up against the best team in England right now and arguably the best team in the world. We've already beaten 4 teams from the Premier League to reach this stage. Now we're 90 minutes, or possibly 120 minutes, from Wembley." Johnson was without Frank Fielding, his first-choice goalkeeper, whose decision to come out for Bernardo Silva's cross in the last minute of the first leg had presented Sergio Aguero with an even clearer opportunity to head City's winner, while defender Nathan Baker was only fit enough for a place on the bench. Guardiola took very few chances with his lineup as he made 2 changes to the side that beat Newcastle in the Premier League at the weekend. Claudio Bravo was once again selected in goal for this competition, and Bernardo Silva played on the right in place of Raheem Sterling. It was an ominously strong City team, and one that started the game full of confidence and composure. Any hope that Bristol could use the emotion of the night to raise their game and unsettle their opponents, as they had against United last month, soon dissipated as City seized hold of the game early on. They were clearly under orders from Guardiola to close down the Championship side and force errors, aware that Johnson is an exponent of the passing style favoured by the Spaniard. Silva won the ball at the byline and Sane smacked a shot on goal which had too much power for the defender and goalkeeper. Sane was alert to fire the snapshot on goal and was given his reward as the Premier League side went ahead. Pep Guardiola celebrates emphatically after his strong lineup took control of the Carabao Cup semi-final. Johnson, in turn, would have known full well what City could do to his team if they were too open and ambitious. The first 2 chances fell to the Premier League club as Aguero's cross clipped the outside of the far post after Fernandinho and Kevin De Bruyne had led a swift break, before John Stones just failed to get on the end of David Silva's free kick. Bristol gradually gained a foothold in the game as they tried to match City's energy. Joe Bryan produced a wonderful tackle on Kyle Walker that stopped the England defender in his tracks, and Fernandinho was booked for hauling back Bobby Reed on the edge of the box. but they rarely caused the somewhat erratic Bravo problems in the first half until he had to clutch Adam Flint's header from Jordan Magnusson's throw-in under his crossbar. Marlon Pack headed one back for Bristol City after some shambolic defending, allowing him to ghost in. The hosts were given a glimmer of hope by the goal, but in truth Manchester City were always well on top. Pack was pumped up after scoring and celebrated in front of his home supporters at Ashton Gate. Luke Steele had to contend with light blue smoke drifting around him after a flare was tossed onto the pitch. Steele comes out and punches clear firmly as Fernandinho leaps in an attempt to plant a header on the cross. The Bristol City players watch on helplessly as the ball cannons into the crossbar before falling to safety. Luke Steele was significantly busier at the other end, and he was relieved to see the loose ball evade Aguero in front of goal after getting a hand to David Silva's shot from a narrow angle. But the former United trainee could not stop City going ahead on the night and taking a 2-goal aggregate lead in the 43rd minute. They had been given a warning 2 minutes earlier when Bernardo Silva got away from Magnusson and forced Steele into a smart save. And Magnusson tried to shepherd the ball out of play on the left. Moments later, the Portugal international stole in to play the ball into the box. Leroy Sane reacted instinctively, sweeping it towards goal, and Flint, please check, stabbed the ball over the line as he tried to keep it out. Kyle Walker charges forward but cannot evade the determined Bristol City covering players down the flank. If the goal had left the home fans rather deflated at half-time, City's second within 5 minutes of the restart put the outcome beyond any doubt. Johnson had no choice but to chase the game and replace midfielder Liam Walsh with striker Famara Didio. There was always the danger that a more adventurous approach would leave his side exposed, and so it proved. City broke at pace and De Bruyne held off Pack before flicking the ball neatly away from his opponent to buy himself a little more time and space. His next touch was even better, sweeping the ball majestically into the path of Aguero, who was galloping towards the edge of the box. From the moment the Argentine took the pass under control, there was little doubt about what would happen next. The finish was typically clinical of Aguero as he buried the ball into the back of the net from 15 yards. Bristol pulled a goal back in the 64th minute when John Stones was punished for an error, by no means his first recently, as he gave the ball away and Jamie Patterson crossed for Pack to head the ball beyond Bravo. The comeback was never on, though. The heroics have taken Bristol far in the Carabao Cup, but this time it was beyond them.